Why is there a myth about a gold-backed currency? Let's talk about it all. Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for following me and thank you for subscribing, leaving your comments below and giving a like to this video. There is a myth about a gold-backed currency. The idea that a government is going to place all of its gold reserves into a fiat currency that will generate an immediate demand from the rest of the world. Having strong reserves is an important element of having a strong currency, but it is not the only element. The most important elements in order to have a currency issued by a government that citizens will demand as a reserve of value, unit of measure, and means of payment of generalized acceptance is if the issuer of the currency has a transparent legal system and an independent investment and judicial system that allows investors to be safe and secure in both the banking and the monetary system, i.e., you're basically creating the legal framework that will make the currency viable and solid. Having strong reserves, once there is legal investor security and a transparent and strong financial sector, all those elements certainly added to strong gold reserves or even 100% gold reserves would make a currency very, very strong and certainly very demanded. Why is the Swiss franc so demanded globally despite being a small economy and despite its relatively small exposure to many of the elements that we would consider as the most important for a currency? It is a small economy, its place in the financial world is not as large as it was decades ago. The Swiss franc continues to be an extremely solid currency. Fiscal policy and legal and investor security are what drive the strength of the Swiss franc. Furthermore, a sound monetary policy in which the central bank avoids the perverse incentive of massively increasing the imbalances of the monetary system. Therefore, what ends up happening is that the Swiss franc is more demanded than supplied, and therefore it tends to be more secure and solid as a world currency. In other currencies, we don't see the same situation. For example, one could say that the Norwegian krone is backed by its enormous oil reserves, which would be equivalent to a gold standard, if you will. However, that is not the case. It's not the case. Why? Because there are a number of elements that make it significantly more challenging as a currency. As we have seen, it's been a very weak currency. Okay, so it's not just the gold reserves or the oil reserves. It is the confidence in the ability of the issuer of the currency to continue to provide a stable currency in the long term. Okay? That's why gold reserves can be challenging, but they are an important factor particularly in an environment in which central banks have enormous losses. So, the myth of a gold-backed currency is to think that only by having strong gold reserves, a currency is going to be strong, stable, and demanded. Not true. You need independent institutions, freedom of capital, a solid financial system, and an open and transparent economic environment. Economic freedom, actually, is one of the key elements of a strong currency. Gold is an important factor, but not the most important. So, in the near future, what we are likely to see is that citizens demand currencies that are stable, currencies that are solidly backed in an environment in which the inflationary burst is not just temporary as it was initially mentioned, but persistent. Faith in the ability of central banks to control inflation and to maintain the reserve of value status of the fiat currency is diminishing. But if a country decides to have a strong legal and investor security added to gold reserves that account for a very significant proportion of all of its money supply, and at the same time provides a financial system that is transparent and open, is going to be a winner. So let's think about that and look to defend sound money in an environment in which the destruction of the purchasing power of currencies by their issuers, unfortunately, is not abnormal, but the norm. Thank you for following. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave your comments below, and keep defending freedom. Thank you very much.